R3 Games is selling PC remakes of classic NES games that he most likely doesn't own. I originally made this post for the Cinemassacre Truth subreddit, but they deleted it for some reason. What does this have to do with James? Oh, I don't know, but what does a post about Garfield has to do with the Cinemassacre Truth? I was making a post talking about NES games, isn't that enough? But whatever, fuck them. I think I'm not gonna post on there anymore.
What are we gonna do, John? Fuck 'em!
Now, onto the subject of this video. I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the NES, but I always wanted a remake of it, and I found one by a guy I mentioned before, R3 Games. A few months ago, I first found this guy with his video about a Contra Force remake he made, and I made a community post about it. Now I came across this guy again, but this time, he was talking about a remake he made of the first TMNT game on the NES. To put it short, it's not the type of remake I would like. It needs more 16-bit graphics, blood, and seppuku if you ask me, and what I mean by that is that I'm also making references to the 1984 TMNT comic, and not just the 87 cartoon most of these guys watched when they were kids. Anyways, the game does seem like a decent fan remake overall. However, here's a little problem that can be seen as kind of a controversial practice as far as how you get this fan game goes. When I went onto the website of this R3 Games guy, he was actually selling this and other remakes of NES games he has made. I hate to be the boring copyright Nazi, but the problem with that is that last time I checked, it is completely illegal to sell a fan game where you are using assets and IPs that you most likely don't have the rights for. I'm not going to report the guy with Viacom, or Konami, or Koei Tecmo, or whoever for the characters and assets used, but I'm not going to buy these games with reused 8-bit graphics I have already seen either. These fan games he made are too overpriced anyway, if you ask me. All I'm going to say is that this R3 guy should have used Patreon or anything else if he wants to get rewarded monetarily for coding these games, while providing people with a demo of the game to show that he can indeed do it. Cause even when a fan game is free, the copyright owners still have the right to take it down if they want to do that. Nintendo sure as hell loves using that right they have a lot, so maybe he shouldn't have used assets from the Super Mario Bros. NES games in his remake of Kung Fu Master, for example, that he is advertising in his website. And by the way, no, he never really makes it very apparent that you have to buy these games with copyrighted content in most of his videos, nor does he put links to his website on the description of said videos. Why do you think I didn't mention this months earlier when I talked about his Contra Force remake? Because I assumed the game was free of charge. Another thing I wanna point out is that he is also playing the YouTube money game by encouraging people to comment on his videos.
Everyone's got their favorite turtles. Tell me what your favorite turtle is and why down in the comments down below. You go down these manhole covers and you will talk to Splinter and he will save your karma for you. There's another little Easter egg with him, but if you can figure out what it is, the Splinter Easter egg, type it down in the comments below if you actually found out what that was. That'd be very cool.
I also found out that apparently his previous YouTube account was suspended, so he had to make a new one, which makes this guy look even more shady. But anywho, I don't hate this guy, I never interacted with him, I'm just pointing out the way he is distributing some of his games. So yeah, I hope he stops charging money for these games, since as far as fan games go, there is better alternatives out there, like TMNT Rescue Palooza, and obviously, most of these games are free of charge. I'm sorry R3, but what you are doing is copyright infringement. As someone who makes videos on YouTube, I know a good amount about copyright laws to tell you that what you are doing is illegal. It's okay to sell your games with your own IP, but it is not okay to try to sell games with IPs that you didn't create. If you don't like that, then stop making games with IPs that you don't own. I didn't make the rules, I'm just reminding you of said rules, so you don't get into serious trouble where Nintendo does the classy demand of charging you a lot of money for copyright infringement, while using you as an example to scare everybody off. It is cool that you can program games, but the way you're distributing some of them is definitely questionable. And before someone says that I'm just mad that the game isn't free, I don't truly care about these games. When I talked about his Contraforce remake, I didn't actually bother to go download the game. Another reason I didn't find out earlier that he is actually charging money for these fan games. I have plenty of other games I can play, so I'm not losing sleep over not being able to play these games for free. Something else I did was asking another person about if you have to purchase these games, and he confirmed to me that you do indeed have to buy them. But I also saw comments basically saying the same thing I'm saying, that he could get into legal trouble for this, and that they are not going to pay $20+ for a fan game. This person's response was that R3 is his friend, and that he is going to support him. Whilst I get he is your friend, and while I see that you already picked your side, that does not mean you should let your friend get in trouble. I'll just say that you are not a true friend if you don't have the courage to call out your friend if he is doing something questionable. If you care about his well-being, then you should call him out, if you ask me. And if he gets mad at you, then you don't need him in your life. Okay, I think that's it for this video. I hope he or others understand that the laws say that you are technically committing copyright infringement when you make a fan game, and it does not matter if you are doing it for clout or not, but it is even worse when you are actually charging people money for a game that uses an IP that you probably did not get permission to use. See you again.